here with another playoff edition preview of this podcast here tonight. You not just got that, but we also got some college, national championship preview. We'll get new shortly. We'll find out who's in the national championship since we were talking about this last week. As the fans are talking about the college football playoff games, and obviously the NFL. We're getting into it now. Before we get into that, I announced tomorrow I'll be heading back to the KeyBank Center for the Sabres game. I was just there Monday. They lost 4-3. The defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, but now they have the Montreal Canadiens, which I just don't like Montreal. But it's because of the rivalry. Plus, the fans are just obnoxious last in the King of Buffalo. But the way Instagram Mix gets the payback, he's gonna do his Instagram Mix type thing by pissing off the fans. The Montreal fans tomorrow. I'll make sure the Sabres come out with a win tomorrow. So I'm taking the Sabres because they know how big this is, especially not just because that, but the former Sabres players are returning. Yet, 506 team, probably one of the greatest Sabres teams in this millennium. They didn't win a Stanley Cup, but still, they're just such a great team. They're coming back to the arena for a reunion night, so it'll be exciting to have them all back. But you know how big this is to have former Sabres back in the building, so all the Sabres want to play really well. The current ones want to play well for them. So I got the Buffalo Sabres winning by at least 2 goals in this one. So I got the Buffalo Sabres in that one. But now let's recap the college football playoffs and the NFL playoffs. Let's start with the college football playoffs. Boy, that Ole Miss Miami game lived up to the hype. That was a great matchup for a 6 and a 10 seed. That's a really good game. Just those two teams going back and forth. For sure, at times I thought Miami was looking to dominate in the beginning, but then Ole Miss had some in them too. It was hard to tell who was going to win that game for a while. So yeah, Miami ended up coming down with a win at the end there. It was 31-27. The final was, isn't that? Because Ole Miss had a lead late. They thought they had that game won, and then all of a sudden, Carson Beck. That was just the back and forth was just impressive. So I'm just pretty impressed with the way they played. Both these teams played, but yeah, Carson Beck, well deserved. I feel bad for Trinidad. I feel bad for the Ole Miss quarterback. He had a great year. He was a D2 transfer, and he just played amazing at Ole Miss this season. This is like college career to end like that in a heartbreaking game like that. So yeah, but yeah, congratulations to Miami. They are in the national championship. First team to play in there. A national championship game in their own building, in their own stadium. That's nuts. Who would have thought that would happen? It's just insane. Hey, Tom, thanks for joining in. That was a good one though. So yeah, and Indiana, holy cow, Indiana dominated Oregon. 56-20 was the final, I believe, in that one. It was not even close. Just the pick six right away. The first play, Oregon throws a pick six. Their quarterback throws a pick six. Indiana just pretty much dominated from there. 56-20 was. Oh, wow. Wow. That's good. At least I appreciate for tuning in. I appreciate it. Wow. That is wild. That is wild, man. Yeah, so the Hoosiers are going to the national championship. I think for the first time ever. I think it's gonna be an exciting time for that program. Who would have thought that team would be in the national championship game along with Miami? I'm looking forward to that game for sure. But yeah, I just cannot believe how badly Indiana won. They've been the most complete college football team all year. They've been the most complete team. Offense looks great. They're explosive, but their defense has been surprising me more. They've been impressed me more lately. Each game I've been watching since the Ohio State game. I watched some other ones, but still, I didn't watch them as much. But when I saw what they did in the Big Ten championship game, shutting down Ohio State, and plus what they did to Alabama and then Oregon. So yeah, it's this defense looks just downright dangerous. For Indiana. If I were Miami, I'd be a little nervous playing them. I would hate to play this team. And now let's recap, the NFL games over the weekend. Oh man, yeah. That's been a big trend today. Yeah, it's nuts. It's just crazy worldwide. So those are your college football. So let's look at the NFL. Recap that. I did not do hot in my picks, but there were some good games. Let's see. Rams should have blown out the Carolina Panthers. It should have been a lopsided game right there, but Panthers made it interesting there. Carolina Panthers made that game pretty interesting. They're especially, at the end. I mean, they had a lead at one point. I thought for sure, it was 31-27 Panthers. I thought for sure they're going to win this game, but Matthew Stafford showing why he's an MVP quarterback for a reason. Throws a game-winning touchdown pass to their tight end Parkinson to win the game. Colby Parkinson, that was probably the biggest catch of his NFL career for sure. Just advancing to the second round of the playoffs with a win like that. I just cannot believe it. That surprised me. I thought for sure Carolina was going to dominate this time, but they looked good. Panthers, I think they've earned a lot of the people's respect now after that performance. Especially Bryce Young. Panthers are going to be around the playoff contender for a long time, I feel like. If they can stay like that, if they can play a little bit better next year. They've had a special season. They knocked out the Packers. They beat the Rams in the regular season. They've had some big wins. So, they got to the playoffs, end of the playoff draft. So it's been a special year for them. It just sucks had to end like that, and a heartbreak. Congrats to Matthew Stafford and the Rams to move on to the next round. Boy, I can't wait to talk about this next one. The Green Bay Packers choking against the Chicago Bears. Did not see that one coming. It started out like it was like 21-3 at one point. Green Bay had a lead. They're in control, but they took the foot off the gas, and the Bears came back in the second half. But also, I'd say blame on the kicker too. Brandon McManus missing not one but 2 field goals, but he also missed an extra point. I'd say all the blame's on Brandon McManus for sure. Everyone can say blame LaFleur and the offense too, but their kicker. You have one job. You got to make field goals, and you just. Come on, especially because he's been in the league for a while. That's why I don't get. McManus has been consistent. He's bounced through injury. I get that, but come on. This is the playoffs. And they choked again against the Bears. That's the second time they've blown a big lead like this year. They had somewhere, but this was worse. I think this one was worse than the regular season one because it was playoffs. Just because they had a bigger lead. So the Packers prove why they're just not as good without Micah Parsons. It kind of showed it there in that second half. That defense is just got beat up there in the thing. They definitely need Micah Parsons back for next season. They want to make a run for the Super Bowl. If you're Green Bay. So yeah. I enjoyed seeing every minute of that one, Packers choking again. Seeing their season end one and done as usual. I picked them, but it's just like when I saw the Bears come back, I was like, it didn't surprise me, kind of just the way the Bears have had some comeback wins this year. And boy, my Buffalo Bills found a way to win. They found a way to beat the Jaguars. It was such a back and forth fourth quarter. Every game, most of the games have been down to the last play this week. Except the Patriots game and the Steelers game, which we'll get into shortly. For a while, Josh Allen took a hell of a beating from the Jacksonville defense. He got pulled out a few times. First his ear was messed up. But they thought it was a concussion, but he cleared concussion protocol, came back in. Then that was his ankle was hurting. He was in his shoulders. He was taking beating after beating, but he kept playing through it. Made the big plays when it mattered. It's just, that's why one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time for the Bills, for that franchise. This is exactly why I showed it. Example, the toughness he has. Why he really wants to win that game so bad. It really showed it. just the guts and determination from him. Seriously, that was an impressive game by both squads. We kicked the field goals 3-0. It was low scoring first half. Second half, second quarter, Brian Thomas gets a touchdown. Jacksonville gets the lead back, but then Josh Allen gets a 2-yard rushing TD. A little bit foul through it. 10-7. Buffalo had the lead at halftime. Prater made a field goal, but Cam Little made a 43-yard field goal. Of course, he missed one to end the first half. Then Parker Washington, start of the fourth quarter, it gets interesting. Parker Washington gets a touchdown, gets Jacksonville lead. But then Josh Allen finds Dalton Kincaid. 20-17, Bills retake the lead. Then Etienne gets a touchdown, catches a touchdown from Trevor Lawrence. Jacksonville retakes the lead. But boy, Josh Allen, what a drive that was. Especially that throw to, Brandon Cooks. Thank God Brandon Cooks caught it. He's had trouble catching the ball at times. But man, when it mattered most, he made the big catch. Got the Bills at the goal line. Josh Allen, big tush, puts it on 4th and goal. Wow. And he rushed him for the touchdown. But then the first play of the last drive from Jacksonville, we thought for sure Jacksonville's going to send this to overtime. Very first play, Trevor Lawrence throws an interception. He goes 2 interceptions. He had one to Shaq Thompson in the first half. And the second half, boy, Trent Treves tipped it, but then Cole Bishop catches it for the interception. Bills win it. That was a thriller. That was the only pick I got right this week. The next one, I'm kind of surprised, too. The Eagles go down. They're one and done. Philly, the Super Bowl champs, are done, so they'll definitely have a new Super Bowl champ this year. The 49ers went into Philly and win. Despite George Kittle going down with a torn Achilles, but this 49ers team wanted to win this one. They got redemption on the Eagles from the NFC Championship game. So, good win for the 49ers. Just a gritty win for her. So, congratulations to the 49ers. The Patriots winning an ugly kind of 16-3 win over the Chargers. Justin Herbert showing why he's a fraudulent quarterback. Just interception after interception. He still made big plays with his beat-up O-line, but now he just terrible in the playoffs. He's 0-3 in his playoff career. He's never won a playoff game. But Drake May 1-0 in the playoffs. It was a turnover fest, but Patriots, ugly kind of win, 16-3. But boy, the Texans dominated the Steelers there in the second half. For a while, it was looking like it would be a low score, and this was going to favor the Steelers because of pace. But boy, the Texans defense dominated Aaron Rodgers from start to finish, especially the pick 60 through, and then he fumbled for a touch. They scoop and score too. Goodness, the Texans D just dominated. I think it's time for Aaron Rodgers to hang it up. I think that might be Rodgers' last game. After seeing that, I think it's time for him to hang it up. Worst of all, Mike Tomlin steps down as the head coach the following day. And congrats to the Texans. So, yeah, those are your wild card winners over the weekend. Let's make our pick for the national championship game this Monday night, 8 o'clock on ESPN. I think, or 7:30. It's on ESPN. There'll be Miami against number 1 Indiana. Should be a great game. Indiana has yet to lose a game this year. They have been just so dominant, but I don't know. Miami may have home field advantage because this in their stadium. First time a college football team has played in their own home stadium for a national championship game. But I'm riding with the Indiana Hoosiers. I'm riding them with the momentum, especially that performance they did in Oregon, especially they dominated Alabama, and they found a way to beat Ohio State. I think Indiana is going to win their first ever national championship for this college football program. I think they're going to win. So I got the Hoosiers as your national champions. Much so I take my eyes like this Indiana's team is just complete on both sides of the ball, And Fernando Mendoza showing why he's a Heisman quarterback for a reason. So, yeah, I like Indiana in this one. Now let's make our divisional picks this week. I won't do my MSP one since I'm officially eliminated from that. Since I finished with -3. So, yeah. I'm just going to do straight up picks this week instead of spread. So let's start with the Bills on Saturday because their first game of the divisional round. My Buffalo Bills taking on the number 1 seeded Denver Broncos, the AFC. So it's going to be a great game. A playoff rematch because these two teams met in the wild card round a year ago. And the Bills end up winning 31-7. They were down 7-0. They scored 31 unanswered. Denver, they want to win, especially at home because the altitude could be an advantage. But I'm going to take Buffalo in this one. I just feel like they're going to win this one. I feel like they're going to be getting disrespected by the media again, They're playing with a chip on their shoulder. I think Buffalo's playing with a chip on their shoulder right now. Especially after Josh Allen did. I feel like Josh Allen's riding the momentum high after taking just an absolute beat down the defense, but he still managed to win the game. So I'm going to go with the Bills. He's got a tall task against probably one of the best defenses in the league in the Denver Broncos. So But I like Josh Allen, especially in the playoffs. That's he's done well in the race, pretty consistent, but still, he's just like so different when it comes to playoff time. He just plays 10 times better. Playoff Josh is a different animal for sure. That's always the best version of Josh Allen, especially in playoff time. He usually plays his best games during the playoffs. And this one, of course, to finish out the Saturday slate, 8 o'clock on Fox. It is the San Francisco 49ers versus Seattle Seahawks. This is round 3 between these two. The first one went to the Niners in week 1. They won in Seattle. And then, of course, a couple weeks ago, week 18, belonged to Seattle. They won in San Francisco to claim them the NFC West and to claim the 1 seed for the NFC side of the bracket. So, yeah, this is a tough pick for me. But I'm gonna take Seattle just because I feel like, God, they got a better defense. And plus, 49ers without Kill is going to be a big difference, too. They found a way to win in Philly last week, but they're not going to win on the road again. I like the Seahawks. They're just a much better team. Their defense has been... they shut down McCaffrey. I could be wrong, but still, they've had some great playoff battles. It's going to be great to see it. I think the last time these two met in the playoffs, it was that NFC Championship game in 2013-14 when Richard Sherman forced the interception. And he had some beef with Michael Crabtree. So, yeah. I remember that infamous interview when Sherman went off, when Aaron Andrews went off about the wide receiver. It was awesome. That's what I think of when I think of this playoff matchup on Saturday night for sure. The Sunday slate, 3 o'clock on ESPN and ABC, is the Houston Texans at the New England Patriots. This should be a fun one. The Houston defense up against one of the MVP favorites and Drake May. So that's going to be interesting how that matchup plays, how Drake May handles this Houston defense. Rodgers obviously couldn't. Josh Allen got sacked 8 times in the regular season against them on the Thursday night game this season. This Houston defense is probably one of the best, definitely the best in the league right now. Denver's, I would say Denver, but I think this Houston team just tops them. But I don't know. This one's I'm really having trouble with this pick, honestly, this week. I'm really having trouble with this one. These are both good teams, but the Houston D just keeps impressing me. I'm going to go with the Texans this week. Much I'd like to take the Patriots because I want to see a Bills-Patriots, AFC championship. But reality, Houston's around the momentum. I got to go with the Texans this one. That defense is going to give Drake May all kinds of problems. So I got the Texans this one. And to finish off Sunday night, 6:30 on NBC, is the Rams and the Bears. Should be a fun matchup here. Caleb Williams finding a way to come back, of course, but Matthew Stafford had a game-winning drive too. So, in Chicago, it's a great one. It reminds me of the old school days between, when Walter Payton and, for the Bears, former Bears running back, Hall of Fame running back, and Eric Dickerson, Hall of Fame running back for Rams. Right? Reminds me of the 80s, like those matchups there. But I'm going to take the Rams. I think the Rams are the better team this one. Bears got lucky last week. They ain't going to get lucky this week. This Rams team is just too damn good. And they're going to handle business in Chicago. So I got the LA Rams this one. Well, thank you all for tuning in this week. I will see you all next week. Same time, same place. 8:30 stream. But yeah, we'll see you all next week. We'll find out who's in the NFC, both conference championship, who moved on to the NFL playoffs. And we'll find out who's your national championship next week. We'll see you all next week.